Can he turn them into title contenders?
No, I don't see it thinking that Michael Carrick's the man to get Manchester United back to winning the Champions League or the Premier League. But I do feel he should get the job, not because he's done so well and he deserves it. Manchester United should do what's best for them as a club. But you think where United have been these last sort of 2 or 3 years, they haven't just been a club underachieving, they've been a club getting laughed at, really. You know, finishing 15th last season, you know, you can't quite comprehend that. Now, what he's done is just calmed everything down, where they're winning games they should win. Manchester United should always be in the Champions League position when you consider how big the club is and the revenue they spend each summer. That's what he's done. He's just done what they should do. Probably a little bit more, of course, you know, winning all these big games. And I think Manchester United could do another year of that. I don't think Manchester United in the summer are ready to go and think they're going to challenge for the Champions League or challenge for the Premier League. They almost need another year of this. And I think the risk of changing somebody who is not going to cause trouble in the press conference, he's not going to fall out with players, he's probably going to be steady. Now, is steady enough for Man United? I just think for another 12 months, it is. You kick the can down the road. Real Madrid are looking for a manager. Chelsea are looking for a manager. Maybe Man City might be looking for a manager as well. And then you assess the managerial options. Because right now, what you're saying in terms of a big Champions League manager, yes, if Luis Enrique comes available tomorrow, of course you do everything you can to get him. But who is that man?
You know what? I've got a question for Roy and Gary here is, next season, right, because he's got Champions League this year, that was the main focal point, that was the most important thing. What would the expectations be next year? So if he does get the job, what would you consider, or even the fan base, what would the fan base consider to be a successful season?
Well, you'd have to ask the board what the remit would be. Would they expect him to... I think, obviously, the board made such a poor decision with the last decision. They're probably frightened of making another big mistake. Yeah. So maybe Carrick is that safe pair of hands. But surely anyone who gets the job next year would be expecting to compete.
I think it'd be very difficult to not give him the job. It's a really weird one because you want to give him all the credit that he deserves, because obviously they brought Ruben Amorim in, gave him the time, gave him all the players and the things he wanted, and you saw how that started at the start of the season. And then Michael comes in, strips it back to basics, goes very simple in terms of putting the best players in their best positions and try to make it work, go forward at the back instead of free. Very simple things that he did. But he's also handled the pressure of being the manager so much easier. You know him better than me as a player. Always very calm, very level, never gets too high, never gets too low. And he's handling that. And I think that's giving the players confidence and giving the club confidence. Well, OK, this guy's going to steady the ship. Yeah. Now, the other side of it, I still don't know what their style of play is. Are they an aggressive front-footed team? Are they a low block sit back? I don't know, because each week they're changing. Their performances have not been great. They've had a good performance against Arsenal, good performance against City, but they haven't had a solid performance. You go, oh, because yesterday that was 2-0, half-time, should have been 4 or 5. That Liverpool team is missing no strikers, no Mo Salah, missing so much that you're like, go on then, Man United, make a statement. And they got it back to 2-2, and it didn't really feel like that. And then the final part is, sorry, Jeff, I know you want to go, that is this Man United team, we've seen this before from the club, where you bring in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, an ex-person, he gets everybody up. I think Ole finished second. Then you give him the job. 18 months later, you sack him because he's not the person to take you forward. What's the difference with Carrick? I don't know. And I don't think anyone does. And I think that's why, as we sit here right now, he hasn't got a 5-year deal. Mm-hmm. Because if they knew